All righty, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited about this interview right here, man. Get a chance to talk to one of my brothers. Now, me and this dude obviously linked up in Pittsburgh 2014. And from there, man, it's just been an amazing time just getting to know him, man, on a personal level and just following where he's been, even post football. So, the guy we get to talk to today came into the NFL in 2009 as a second round draft pick, 47th selection overall to the Oakland Raiders. And from there, he went on to play 4 years out there with them before spending 1 year with the Carolina Panthers, then coming right here to Pittsburgh to play 4 more years, and then ending it with his final season with the Indianapolis Colts. And now, he is currently the assistant defensive backs coach for the Indianapolis Colts out of Ohio University. My brother, Steelers alumni, Mike Mitchell. Coach Mitch, how we living over there, baby?
I'm amazing. That's way too good of an intro for me.
Man, stop it.
Some of that stuff was kind of crazy to hear, but yeah, I moved around a little bit. But yeah, that was a phenomenal intro by you. You're a pro at this now.
Nah, come on, man. We both detail our work. You know this.
Facts.
Hey, so man, first off, man, let's just tap in, man. How have you been adjusting to this coaching life? And do you go by Coach Mike or Coach Mitch? Or how you what's the situation with that now?
It's both, honestly. At first, I wasn't really letting guys do it just because it sounded so weird. But as obviously there's definitely a level. I've always kind of looked at it like the way Mike T did it. He almost comes at us like a big uncle or like he makes us feel like teammates, not necessarily like he's in charge just by the way he carries himself and whatnot. But he makes it feel like a teammate. So I wanted to try to give guys that same type of feel, and not make it seem like I'm not demanding, because I'm definitely demanding, but I just don't want to be hovering over them like a boss. I want them to look at me like a peer that they respect for sure.
Okay.
So at first I was on that, but now I'm okay with it. I've got used to it. So there's guys that'll come up, Coach Mitch, Coach Mike, whatever. I'm good with it. But as far as how I'm adjusting, man, I truly do love it. The hours I've got since I got into it, I've gone back and texted several coaches. Obviously Mike T, Coach Lake, Coach Wilkes, Coach Kevin Ross from when I was out there in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
I texted them all and been like, "Yo, thank you." Because I had no idea the amount of hours they were putting in. I was a guy, I was always trying to get that extra out of them.
Absolutely.
On top of all the film they were watching, then here I am bugging them for 45 minutes here, 45 minutes there. So I had to go back and literally thank them, because it was like, man, that was a sacrifice you guys are making, and I appreciate it.
No, man, and that is awesome actually to have that full circle moment, man, where you're able to say, hey, man, I see the other side now and kind of what you guys have been dealing with, and I do appreciate that. But what would you say has been the most surprising thing for you about becoming a coach in the NFL?
Well, besides, I kind of knew, like, I was joking around, but I also serious. I had a buddy tell me this isn't a job; it's a lifestyle coaching. So the hours are very demanding, but I was kind of aware of that going in. I guess the number one thing that's surprising, and this will be funny to you, when you're dealing with, like, think about how our team was, and all those different personalities. So coaching is very much about X's and O's and coming up with a great game plan that has good process behind it. It is that, but it's also very much being like a therapist, a manager of personalities. Because and I jokingly, I say this about some of our teammates. You got to handle guys from Pouncey and my crazy ass, guys like yourself, AB, Le'Veon, all the way to guys like Ross Cockrell. Mike T somehow got to manage all of us, get us in the stadium and try to get it done. So there's that side of it that I think that's been the biggest surprise. It's like, man, it's definitely not just the X's and O's. It's all the extra stuff that comes with it. But I'm here for it.
No, without a doubt. And man, you just took me down memory lane when you dropped some of those names. Just thinking about, like you said, managing those different personalities and everything that goes along with that. I mean, that is crazy when you think about that element from a coaching. But yeah, it's very much impactful, man. And it is necessary, because if you don't have that ability to make these guys feel comfortable around you and working together, then it could be a disaster. So yeah, that's definitely important right there, man. Now,
no doubt.
Absolutely. Now, for this to be your first season as a coach, man, you are getting the crash course of NFL lifestyle, right? Obviously, with the Colts switching from Frank Wright earlier in the season to now just Saturday, another former player. Just talk about how all of that has been for you in your first year and how you've been just adapting to that change.
Well, honestly, I think it's been a very unique first year, right? I think anyone that looks
Absolutely.
at it, like you just said it, I've had the coach that originally hired me has been relieved of his duties. And I can't say enough good things about Coach Reich. He gave me my last opportunity to play
Absolutely.
as a professional football player. And then him and Coach T, he gave me my first opportunity to actually get into coaching. So I'm very grateful for Frank Reich. But I'm also, I really do. I hold Indian in very much high regard. The ownership there, I talk to Miss Carly all the time, Miss Carly Ursay. She's a great woman. They're just trying to win at all costs. So I've seen this year has been a lot of turmoil, to be honest. It's been up and down. From the games that we've lost, we've had some really tough losses. From close games where we were right there, one score game type deals. And then some bad ones, kind of like the one we saw last Sunday. That fourth quarter got out of hand. We've had the episode with Coach Reich. Our one of our best defensive players, Darius Leonard. I think he's missed every game but one this season due to injury. I've experienced just about everything in my first year of coaching. So what a great opportunity for me. It gives me to see everything kind of all in one. That's kind of how I'm looking at me. I'm always trying to make it positive. I now feel like I'm a much more experienced coach in my first year because I've gone through all those things, and we're still trying to get together and just win every single day. It's keeping guys focused. Like, I'm learning all these things. Gus Bradley's our defensive coordinator. I deal with him the most, him and Ryan Miles, and he just does a great job setting the example for us as coaches, and then we try to pass that down to the players. But to answer your question, I can talk too much.
Oh, no, I love it, though, man. I love it because this is that perspective that we don't always get. And I think about it this way, right? And a person in my role, when we're interviewing, a lot of times it's players, right? And they only want to talk the player side. But to hear a guy like you who's on the other side and how you're transitioning and maneuvering through this, like, nah, keep talking, man. This is super interesting, bro.
Yeah, no, it could get when I tell you about the personalities, and I have to protect some of the guys.
It totally understand.
But just know, like really truly think back on our locker room, and then think about how good we were as a team. But like, man, we had some wild.
We were crazy, bro.
Yes,
we were crazy.
We had some wild personalities. So like, with that in your mind, it's like, dang, Coach Lake, dang, Coach Butler, dang, Mike T. And you had offense and defense. I'm talking about just our defense. Between me, TJ Watt, Cam, Tuitt, fucking Bud. Like, man, that's a bunch of personalities. And then mix that with the offense, and then we're going 13-3.
Hey, it's craziness.
You know what I mean? Hats off to Mike T for that. For real.
No, without a doubt,
it's not easy. I'm learning this year because our record is what it is. Right. I'm learning how it's not easy. It's not easy to handle all those things. Man, it's just, to be in a short answer, man, this year has been amazing.
Yeah,
I've seen so much. I've learned so much. Yes, there's been some negatives, but I look at all those things as growth. And like, I really do mean that, man. It's like I got 3 years of coaching experience in one, just because of all the stuff we've been through. And I think, man, what a great opportunity for me, because things haven't been going as well. But you know how I am, man. I'm going to fight until I die. So what a better way for me to, provide that for my players and maybe inspire some of these coaches on the staff. That's just how I am. I'm going to ride out. We got 4 games left. I want to win them all.
No, 100%. And, that was one of the biggest reasons why me and you connected so much, because of that dog right there. That just, it doesn't matter what the score is, how much time is left, man. As long as there's time on the clock, we got a chance to get up out of this thing, man. But the other part that I always loved about you was, man, you were such a student of the game. Like, you studied film, you were doing extra in the weight room, extra things in terms of rehab, always going that extra step to make yourself the best player that you could be. And what I wanted to know was, during that time, though, did you already know that you wanted to get into coaching, or when did that seed start to grow inside of you?
To be honest, I kind of was always thinking I was going to be more into like television. I remember doing the broadcast boot camp, and
Absolutely.
I
That
had
was a
people.
blast. Yeah.
I felt like people. I went with you. Like
Mm-hmm.
we did that together.
Yeah, we all did.
I remember
Absolutely.
people throughout my career always said that that's what I will be doing.
Mm.
But and you know me. You're one
Yeah.
of the few people on this planet that
Yeah.
actually know me. Uh, I, don't- I wish I would have done a better job as a player because I can be very reserved and like inward.
Yeah.
I could almost come off as cold and like you
Mm.
know me, like I'm
Yeah.
chill. Like if you come to me,
Man, you so
like
down to
I'm a nice
earth.
guy in
One
my
of the
real life.
best dudes that you could have in your life, man. Absolutely.
But I was always so like paranoid. Oh man, how are they gonna twist this? How are they gonna twist
Mm-hmm.
that? That I would like shut down with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Uh, Going back, I wish that's like the one thing, especially in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done a better job because perception is reality a lot
Yeah.
of the
True.
times.
True.
And I heard there's people like, oh, he's an asshole. It's like, man, you've never actually met me. And
Yeah.
then the people, I've literally had like drivers, just
Yeah.
random
Yeah.
people at the airport be like, oh my gosh, you're so much nicer in person. Well, it's like for me, it was like, man, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Based on what you heard or something.
Right.
But
They
I don't
already
know.
have that like preconceived notion. And honestly, as players, and obviously, I mean, you can attest to it, I can as well. Sometimes you're right. People already have their mind made up that you're going to be a certain type of way. And then when they actually get a chance to meet us and talk to us, it's like, no, man, we're actually opposite of everything that you might have heard or thought that was put out there
Right.
for us, man. But that is the beauty of where we're at now. And even me in the media, that's one of the things that I'm trying to do, make sure that we get that out there so that there is no more of those, preconceived notions or guys not getting their full chance to get their voice heard and their story out there, man. So,
Right.
yeah, no, that's
No,
what
that's
we're trying
amazing.
to do, man. Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I went off on
Yeah.
a tangent.
You're good, bro.
I think Mike T, when I was there, used to always he had funny ways to dick with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
Absolutely.
would always want to be like, you're a B player, but you're gonna be a hell of a coach one day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so he started like low key, even though he was messing with me,
Uh-huh.
it was like it's putting that seed in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be a coach. Then, so man, when I went to Indy, a big part of the reason I got hired, because you got to think like I've never been a coach before, but
Right,
I mean
right.
I'm the assistant secondary coach.
Mm-hmm.
They did that off of what I did when I came here,
Mm-hmm.
and when I came here, bro, that's what blows my mind, and that's why like the culture that we had. That the Steelers had in those years. Like I'm not
Yeah.
there now, so I can't speak on it.
Right.
But what that culture that we had, dude, that is the juice. Because all I did was do what I did there
Wow.
in Indy, and it was like, oh my God, this guy's a tremendous leader. He's great for the locker room.
Let's go.
He's like the
Let's
example.
go.
And I was like, no, all I did was remember what Mike T said all the time.
Yeah.
Older guys, grab a young guy and show him the way.
Show them the way, man.
That's
Because if you don't,
all
they don't have any direction.
I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
man.
that's all I did, and they made this big deal about it. And to me, it's like I don't know. That's just what we were taught that.
Absolutely.
So it was like I don't know. It's crazy to go to another organization and then have that experience. But obviously, it ended up being a huge blessing because that's why I'm still here to this day.
Yeah.
Working for them. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah, Mike T, and then obviously the Colts people, Chris Ballard specifically, Coach Reich all said that, hey, you coaching is in your future. And then, I took those 3 years off, chilling down there in South Florida on the beach, and then said, hey, let me see what's up.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Now, while you was chilling down there in South Beach, I know you. And we got this love for combat sports. I mean, in fact, I remember when the UFC first came to Pittsburgh, me and you were the guys down there for open workouts and all the other stuff, man, because we just love it. And during that time frame of those 3 years, you were training, you were working out. I mean, I'm your dog, so I watch videos. I'm like, yo, he looked like he getting ready to get in that ring. Now, we had Le'Veon Bell, former teammate of ours. He just stepped in that boxing arena. Did you at any point in time consider tapping into the combat sports vein, man, whether it's MMA or in a boxing situation? Because, like I said, I know that's one of your passions, man.
It was definitely something that I was getting very, very, very serious about.
Let's go.
I did. So I'm not even gonna lie. So I was really sparring, like really hard
Bro,
spars.
I was watching
Frank
you.
Gore.
You had some dudes with you, yeah.
Yeah. Philip Stankovic, Xander Zayas. He actually fights tonight on the Teofimo Lopez card.
Mm-hmm.
There's a plethora of dudes down there and like bangers. I remember one guy. He's a kickboxing world champion. This kid, I think what's his name? Andrzej Stankovic, Philip's older brother.
Yeah.
Dude just looks like he should wear a black. Like he's a hitman. Like he's a real life killer, bro. Sparring these people, like I was for sure getting ready. But then, to be honest, this opportunity started to present itself in December, and I think at that point, as I was about 2 years in, and you know how serious I am. Like I treated, because I was even doing jiu-jitsu as well. I was doing everything like I did, like full attention, running every day, diet on point, bro. I was down to 190.
Let's
diet
go,
on point.
God, dog. Let's go.
Training every day, never missing a session, like on it. And then, to be honest, this opportunity presented itself. And it was like, man, am I going to really stay down here? Because at this point, like, I'll send you pictures right after this chat. You can see my face, like, literally. Some days I'm getting when I'm sparring, me and Frank had some good spars. I'm not going to speak on that very much, but, him and I had some good spars. Other days, it was like clearly getting your ass whooped. And it's like, is this what I really want to be doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then when this opportunity presented itself, it forced me to move back and, got my place in Kentucky and, I got my place in Indy now. So those are my two places. But it forced me to kind of give that up. I major respect to Frank. And, I knew Frank was going to do it because I knew how serious I was about doing it.
Let's go, man.
At one point, me and Frank were supposed to be on the same card for his first exhibition fight.
Let's go.
But, hats off to both him and Le'Veon. And I know people can talk their shit or,
if you step in that ring, bro, I don't care. If you step in that ring, unlimited respect to you, bro. Like, that's a whole nother ball game, bro. It's a whole nother ball game. Yeah.
Because there's times it's one thing when you start to spar people from your gym, you see this guy every day. It's almost like y'all really become a team. So it's you're punching each other in the face. You might bloody his nose. You might black your eye, something like that. You're not really trying to get him out of there.
Right.
And then there's times you spar people from other gyms, and it's that shit is low key. It's low key a fight. You know what I mean?
He said, I can't get you out of there. Oh, no.
Bro, I'm trying to get you out of there because you don't care about this person. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's a sport where, bro, I'm not telling you nothing you don't know, but it's literally you or me. Yeah. And there's no teammate. You were an amazing teammate. I knew I could count on you in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in boxing, no, it's just you, bro. Ain't no AB on offense that can score a touchdown.
Right. Bail us out real quick.
Ain't no big deal. Yeah, no. There's no Bud and TJ off the edge. Mike, what's your defense like? And you better not get tired. Bro, for real. That's how I got down so much weight, bro. I was running 5-6 miles a day, boxing in the afternoon, then going to jiu-jitsu at night. Shout out Kevin Mahecha.
Let's go, man.
He's a beast. No, low key, bro. I had a moment in time where I felt like anybody could get it.
I love it.
Anybody could really get it.
And I just think of how we would joke at times in fake spar. It's like, yo, come on, let's see what you got. And to hear you go into that stage, that was when I started being like, I don't even want to play that game with you no more. It's over. I don't care why. I'm not doing that because you're for real now. That's the difference right there, man. But salute
I definitely dedicated. I definitely dedicated to it, and
bro.
I can't say enough about them boys that really got in there and did it. Especially Le'Veon, huge jump. You ride hard. You
bro, what? Uriah is a savage, bro. We know this. Savage.
People can say what they want. That's ego, whatever you want to call it. That's huge nuts.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It held his own too, man. So big time respect to you for that, bro. Absolutely, man. But bringing it back to you in this as a coach, man, being the fact that you played 10 years in the league, man, and did it at a high level, how has that helped you transitioning into being a coach now?
I think it's helped tremendously. And, I have a good relationship with Gus and especially the guy that I work under, Ron Miles. He is I mean, he has a scowl about him, but I promise you, he's the funniest dude. And he's like 58 years old, so it's a different type of humor, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I always joke with him and tell him, because we'll talk about other coaches that he know, and they're like, "Oh, he graduated from Yale." Like, bro, I'm the anomaly. Like, I'm just a former grunt player, and I'm gonna work my way. I'm gonna grind my way to being a head coach. But a lot of these guys, man, they're coming up. They're super smart. They're doing quality control, all this. But so him and I will joke about that because he's always like, "Man, you're gonna be a rock star, et cetera, et cetera." I'm like, yo, that's not. Does the manual say that? So sometimes, like, we'll be having a debate. I'm like, does the manual say that? Because, like, for real, when that MFer is in front of you and he's got that 4.3 gas, you might need to back up to 10.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The manual says C7, but when that's Tyreek Hill, no. You gotta have some self-awareness there.
There we go. We go.
Those are the type of jokingly conversations, but conversations that we do have at times, especially when we're game planning and whatnot. There's another guy in there named Cato June. He played man. Super Bowl winning linebacker. All pro guy. Did it the right way.
Absolutely.
For the Colts. So it's phenomenal to, I think, have him and I. We're both former players. So when they ask us stuff when we're game planning, we're obviously we're thinking at it like I'm thinking at it like a young assistant secondary coach. But I also have the perspective of hearing that as a safety who did the job for a long time too. So that benefits. Same with Cato. He did it at linebacker as a will linebacker for a long time. So we also give them that perspective. I think it's just been a great relationship with all of those guys because it's like at each position there's an older guy like Richard Smith's the head linebacker coach and Cato's the assistant. Richard's I think 66 years old. I mean, dude, I can't say enough how blessed I am to be in the room with some of these dudes.
You with some minds, right? That's some football heads right there, man. Absolutely,
Bradley,
absolutely.
So I'm coming up. You know me. I'm like a mad scientist. Like I'm developing the perfect defensive scheme. I'm mixing everything. Sean McDermott, Mike T, Gus Bradley, and the Seattle 3. Like, bro, I'm over here masterminding. I'm taking a little bit from everything. I'm just learning as much as I can because I got this 3 great experienced coaches to learn from.
Yeah. No, without
a doubt. Awesome.
Without a doubt. And that's the thing that always made you so special as a player, man. Being able to not just make it here, but to say, you know what, there's still room to grow. There's still people that I can learn from, not feeling like you have all the answers, man. And that's just a beautiful thing. It's really humbling as well. But we talked about, or you've been referencing multiple times, man, Coach Tomlin, his impact on you, man. But if you could just share even more, if there was something specific that you could take from him or that you have taken from him that really just resonates with you and has helped you even more so now throughout this process as a coach.
Man, Mike is, and him and I have, this is how I know it's real, because we went through a period where, like, we didn't really speak, and then when I saw him for the first time I saw him, it's like I never missed a beat.
Yep, that's him.
Like I
that's
saw him
Coach T, baby.
Every day, at work, like we never missed a beat, and you know how it goes when you leave a place. Mike T taught me several lessons. First lesson is that, man, I can care about you for real, but this is also the business of football. He always used to say that to us. He'd be like, our game is football, but we're in the business of winning. Keyword, business. So, there's some things that he taught me that way for sure. But then also, man, just because you know what type of personality, like I said, you know me. So
absolutely. Just a
for
little
him
crazy.
to let me thrive in that environment, for him to let me thrive, he'd always say, be your best self. For him to let me thrive the way he did in that environment and just let me be my best self. Like, was I ever going to be a guy to go out there and catch 10 interceptions? No, that wasn't what I was even focused on. He used to always dig with me and say,
"You try and catch your body." We know this.
Yeah, I was right. I don't know. I'm
catch your body.
Going back now, one man. You know whose game I love? I love Mika's game. I absolutely love his game.
Shout out to Mika
because he will try to hit you. He will try to hit you.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. Like if he catches you slipping, like he's coming with that thump it up. But that man is so ball aware. Pause.
You good.
He's so ball aware.
Yeah.
like to get the game winner the way he did last week. I remember watching it, helping Parks Fraser. We were watching some of the film. We were getting ready to play. I'm like, the guy is just he's terrific at always playing the football. And looking back at my career, especially because, like I said, what did I say? Coach T told me we're in the business of football. I always wanted to, when I played, I always wanted to have the respect of my teammates and my coaches first, and then I wanted the rest of the guys in the league to be like, man, I respect your game. You know what I'm saying? That's a real one. He played it the right way. Going back and knowing that it's business, man, I'm picking every ball off that's in the air. I don't give a dang about none of that because I'm trying to make $100 million.
Ain't that the truth? Because I can feel what you are saying. It's times where I'm like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have been so quick to say, hey, I'll drop into coverage. Maybe you should have just kept rushing.
Yeah.
It's like that, 100%. Hey, come on, bro. I'm with you.
And that's how, like, I haven't done an interview with anyone, but that's how, how we get down.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
We were so, in our culture, we were so, like, on the warpath.
Yep.
And we just wanted to get everybody. You know how we used to go on each other. Like, I think that was a great thing too, Coach T did. He made us always combative. Offense versus, like, we start every day with 7 shots.
Hey, man, I've been dribble. Hey, straight up. We're going to stretch and we going at it. Let's go.
Like, there was not a day where we weren't competing. So, like, dude, what is it for me to be in the fourth quarter in a 2-minute drill versus whoever? Like, bro, I compete every day. This is just another day for me. It just so happens that it's nighttime and whoever's the quarterback. But, he made us compete every day. So it was like we got comfortable. We got comfortable in that environment. We were wired different for sure.
No, facts.
Don't even get me started on.
Hey, it's all love. You already know. It's all love though, man. It is all love, baby. But what I do want to know though too, man, what was that experience like for you though, man, in terms of you were coaching against not the last team, but your former team as well, man. When you got a chance to see the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then obviously earlier in the season, getting a chance to see another one of your former teams, man. So just what has that been like for you going back down that path, those emotions and stuff?
Man, it was crazy because it was, in a way, it was like God was putting closure on a lot of things.
Okay.
Like, it's you hit on. I was drafted by Oakland. I did 4 years out there. We go to Vegas. Granted, it's not Oakland, but I see Mr. Davis for the game. Give him a big hug. I see a bunch of the people there. And, it was so crazy because even when I was in Indy my last year as a player, we went out to Oakland in the Coliseum to play. And we ended up getting that win. So it was just like, man, it was like God gave us that. And it was like, okay, now you've seen this team as a player, played for them, played against them, now coached against them.
Man, that's
and then to do it against Pittsburgh was, to be honest, that was the first time since that Jacksonville loss.
17.
I had seen some of the people in that building.
Wow, man.
And then especially like night T, I probably saw, I don't know, a week or two after that Jacksonville loss because then, we were having that uncomfortable conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was right there with you. Trust me, I know.
I will say that's when it was time. Yeah. So that was the first time seeing him in person, giving him a hug. And then here's the craziest part, bro. My dad passed away. That was my dad's birthday, that Monday night.
Wow.
So, for me, it was like a lot of different emotions. Yeah. I really wanted to get that win so bad, but God had a different plan. It was still a good day, like I said, to see a bunch of old people. Yeah. I saw Mr. Rooney, shake his hand, and I see everything too from a different perspective too. So I was very grateful to see him again. Obviously I'm always grateful to Al Davis because he drafted me and gave me my first opportunity. But Mr. Rooney's the one that gave me the opportunity to play for the Steelers, and took care of the fam, we'll say.
Yeah, gave you that bag. I'm with you. That's why I love the same way. Hey, look, man, we both got that same type of bag over there, man. Your bag was big, but it was still baggy. We felt great. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
So,
shout
out. I want to see him and thank him for that.
No, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. And, man, we got a couple more, too, man, before we get up out of here. But just now, even though, like you said, this is your first year and you're still right in the heart of this thing, what would you say has been the best thing and the worst thing about being a coach in the NFL so far for you?
The best thing. So I can't. So I'll have to tell you in private. I will
All
elaborate
good.
more. But
All good.
for the
All good.
interview,
Yeah, all
the
good.
best thing, generic answer is working hard on a Tuesday night after everyone's given their presentations, working on an idea
Mm-hmm.
on how to beat someone, implementing that idea against a very quality opponent,
Mm-hmm.
it working, and then pulling off like the upset or the big
Ooh,
win.
that's beautiful.
That was a very fulfilling because okay, so here's the biggest
Okay.
difference. When we were players, there'd be times when the screen blacks out and it's like, oh shit, and you hear, oh my, when you hear, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It's like,
Absolutely.
okay, now it's time to make a play. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go make a play. I'm about to hit stick somebody. I'm about to try to do
Absolutely.
something. I'm about
Absolutely.
to make a play. As a coach, there's none of that.
None
as a coach,
it's none of
as a
it. None of it.
coach, you have to sit there and
Oh
hope
no. Oh
that you
no.
prepared them for this moment.
Oh
Because
no.
there's none of that shit. You know, so you talk about stress.
Yeah.
So that feeling right there, knowing there's nothing you can do about it, and then the late Tuesday nights, those are the
Mm.
worst things about coaching. But the best is also being in that chair
Yeah.
and having your player pull through and implementing a plan that you help them implement and it working flawlessly. Like that's a different type of joy as
Yeah.
well. There's nothing like going to Kansas City the way we did, winning that game and then going to the
Absolutely.
AFC Championship.
Absolutely,
Like there's
man. It
nothing
was
like going to
nuts.
Cincinnati in the playoffs the
It
way
was
we did
nuts. It was nuts.
and winning that game. And, like there's nothing in
Yeah.
the world like that.
Hmm.
But there is some things that get close, and I'd
Yeah.
say those two things. Um,
Let's
we're
go.
close.
No, I love that right there, man. I love that. Well, now it's time for the final question, man. And as players, we always talk about that welcome to the NFL moment. It typically is something not so good, or it could have been something really positive. But it's typically, like I said, for the players. So what I want to ask you, now that you are a coach in the NFL, what has been your welcome to being a coach in the NFL moment? That moment where you looked up and you're like, oh man, I'm really here. I'm doing this. Where there was something positive that happened as a coach or something negative. But just that
Yeah.
moment where it really hit you that, man, I'm doing this now.
So okay, so I ain't gonna lie. Gus is a great guy, but he did they were so soft on us, like in the off season. Like
Mm-hmm.
the hours are kind of like I'd say I always get there early, try to get my lift and
Right,
whatnot.
right.
So the hours are probably like 6:30, 7 o'clock till about 3:30,
Okay.
4 o'clock. Okay, it's not bad. You get
Like,
in,
it
you
sounds
do
like a
your
regular
work, you
day.
do
You don't
your
seem crazy.
evaluations. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's smooth. Okay, camp. Okay, now the hours are like 6 o'clock because the meeting's a little bit earlier,
Right,
about
right.
30 minutes, and the night's a little bit longer because you got those night meetings. But
Mm-hmm.
camp, you're probably out of there like 7 or 8 o'clock.
Okay, okay.
Uh, okay, so it's like it's gradually longer, and then the season hits. Okay, most, and then you're playing Kansas City, who Gus was in the AFC West for I
Yeah.
think 6 years. He was
Mm-hmm.
with Oakland. He's with the Chargers a long time.
Right,
So he
right.
has a personal vendetta versus Kansas City. Bro, that Tuesday night was when I got welcome. Bro, I didn't leave that building until 11:30 p.m.
Oh
and had
my
to
God.
yeah, got there at
Oh my
6.
God.
Got there at 6 a.m. and had to be back in there at 6 a.m. the next day.
Oh
That's when
my
they was like,
God.
hey, you're a coach now, boy. It's like, you're a
Yikes.
coach now, boy. That's why I said this ain't a job, bro. It's a lifestyle. Like, if you got a girl
Wow.
or a wife, like, you gotta, man, shout out
Yikes.
because
That's real. That is
you're not even off
real.
work. You're not even close to being off work until
Yeah.
9 p.m. And that's real talk.
Yeah. See, and that's the beauty of this conversation because that's something that we don't typically get to hear a lot of, man. Even me as
Oh,
as a
bro.
former player, I mean, like, man, I think of myself, I'm like, oh, I know y'all got hours, but to hear that, Oh, that's crazy. I'm like, oh, that's a
And
whole nother level.
it's really a lifestyle, and like
Yeah.
that's why I told you. I went back and said, Coach Lake, like one, I'm sorry because I didn't know I was doing that to you. You know, I'm coming in. I'm coming in with breakfast. You know, we just finished a meeting with Coach T, and you know, I didn't have the special
Yeah.
teams thing,
Right,
so
right.
I would go bust in on his while he's probably game planning.
Oh
Now that I'm a
no.
coach now, that's what he's doing. He's probably planning out his day, getting his meeting ready. And here I bust in, and I'm like, yo, let me get 20 minutes to trying to watch some tape.
Right,
You know what I mean? And I'm like, asshole. You know,
right.
because he
That is
probably
funny.
went to sleep
Right.
6 hours ago.
Yeah.
He's tired as shit.
Yeah.
He's running behind on his meeting, and now you want to watch film for 20 minutes? Fuck you. Excuse my language. But
Understandable, understandable.
that's why I called several of them and was like,
Yeah.
yo, thank you. I appreciate you. I had no idea I was doing that to you. Because now I got this guy named Nick Cross doing it to me. And I'm like, Nick,
And shout out to Nick,
eat it.
man. Absolutely. He was,
Shout out to boy.
big time dude coming out. Obviously, took off at the combine and really blew up. But yeah, man, that is funny, man.
He is a character. He's
Yeah.
going to be a great player for us. Right now, he's got a great opportunity. It's kind of like how we were with Pitt. And Pitt, Will Allen kind of helped raise Rob G. Rob G kind of and myself
Yeah,
kind of helped
yeah.
raise Sean Davis.
Absolutely.
We're kind of doing that now. We got a great older veteran in Rodney McLeod, and he's showing Nick the way on everything it is to be a pro. So Nick's got a great opportunity to learn from him. We expect him to do big things for us in the future. He's going to be a great one for sure. He's like 6'2", 215. Like, he's what you're looking for in a safety.
No,
He's
without a doubt.
marinating.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. No, and I love that, man. It is awesome too to hear that impact too, man. I can hear the passion in you, man, and it's just beautiful to see that you are doing this, man, and doing it at another high level, man. So big time salute to you. And man, that was all I had for you today, bro. But like I said, man, always a blast catching up with you. I know you on the bye week right now, man. So take care, get that rest and all the other time that you do have off. Because I know after that, man, you got to get back in this thing. But big time salute to you, bro. All love.
Thank you. Yeah, that rest is about to be Rap City in the basement. So
Let's go.
it's gonna be dead. But I appreciate you, Most. It's all love. Thank you for the opportunity, and we'll get up in the off season for sure. I'll give you a recap of the year, and everything. Just we'll catch up too.
No, absolutely, man. I would love that, man. So definitely appreciate you again, bro.
All right, bro. Have a good one.
Hey, you too. Peace.